Hello, my name is Lynda Pleckan. I blog at the Paper Arts Cafe, and I posted this card on my blog a couple of days ago, and I also posted it on Facebook groups and several groups that I belong to there, and several people have responded very positively. I'm overwhelmed and really taken aback by your response. I'm humbled and I really appreciate your kindness. Several people have asked me, how did you do that? Can you show us? Well, I am not very technologically minded, but I got to work studying how to make videos on my iMovie and YouTube. And this is my very first attempt. So please bear with me, be kind, be gentle. And I promise I will be doing more research and learning how to get better at this. In the meantime, I hope you enjoy my presentation. Before I get started, let me show you some of the supplies that you're going to need to make this card. I started with some stamps from Technique Junkies, Autumn set of 6, and Leaves Turn. And also from Technique Junkies, a stencil by A Colorful Life, and it's called Leaves 1. For inks, I used Tim Holtz Distress inks, and I also used some of the Distress markers to match the ink pads. I used VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink for my black stamping for the verse. It's my favorite ink to use for black. And some brush blending tools. I also used a piece of ivory cardstock to stamp the project on. And I lined up my pads around my project and I placed a little layer of protection under it, and I started to push the color through the stencil with the brushes. I'd go into my stamp pad, ink up the brush, rub it on the stencil very lightly. And the key here is to use a light touch, and then when you want a little more color, press firmly on the head of the brush, which you'll see me do occasionally when I want to get some more pressure on there. And just hold down your stencil. The thing to try to do is not to get ink into the other parts of the open parts of the stencil or off of the stencil, because then it'll show up on your card. I sometimes I'm not so good at that, and you'll see me trying to cover up my little uh-ohs, and you'll learn how to do that just from watching me with my mistakes. I'm going to show you in real time the first couple of leaves, I think, and then after that I'm going to speed it up because it'll be the same thing and you don't have to sit here and watch me do it the entire time of the video. So here I am moving the stencil around, and I'm overlapping the first leaf with the second one, and I'm changing the position a little bit of the leaves. You don't want them all coming down at the same direction. When real leaves fall off of trees, they topple over each other. Some are upside down and sideways. They're going to come down in very random fashion. My goal here was to have a diagonal cascade going from the left corner, top corner, to the right bottom corner. And now this is where I'm speeding it up so that you don't have to be bored just watching me color this whole thing. If it's still too slow for you, just fast forward to the end of this part and I'll show you what's next. So you'll see me working to make sure that my colors, I have different colors in different parts of the card, and trying to figure out which stamps I want to, which parts of the stencil, excuse me, that I want to use on which part of the card. And now at one point along the line here, my stencil got into the red stamp pad, and you will see some of that red transfer onto the card where I didn't want it to be. So creative, uh, creative art, let's put it that way. I used a part of the stencil and put some of the that red color over the red boo-boo and kind of covered it up. Afterwards, I'm going to put some spatters on there, and so that will help also camouflage. There you see me putting some masking tape or painter's tape over the open part of the stencil so it wouldn't get on the edge. Now I'm going back up and filling in some of those areas to make it not so uniform. I kind of want the loose look and a little more artsy than just, so that it's not just uniform. I want it to look very natural. Okay, and you can see up in the upper right, the right corner of the stencil, that red ink that I was talking about. And see how it just left that little mar there. So here I go, cleverly trying to cover it up using some dark colors. And it did a pretty good job of it. And there it is. So now, instead of spattering with the usual way with a wet paintbrush and ink, because that's just too unpredictable, I'm using my markers in the different colors, and I'm using the fine point of the marker to add little spatter dots all over. So I'm going to speed that part up, and we'll be on our way. I'm using the VersaFine Clair Nocturne to stamp the verse, which is from this set. Autumn is a second spring when every leaf is a flower. See how nice and crisp and clean that black ink stamps? It works every time. It's such a nice pad. And for the inside of my card, because no card is complete without an inside, I used another verse and I stamped a couple of the leaves. I'm sorry, not stamped, stenciled. Okay, that brings us to the end of the video. I made it. You'll find a list of the social media links below and a list of the supplies used in the description box below. If you liked this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and you'll receive notifications of new videos, hopefully better videos. And I just thank you so very much for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time, and I would really love it if you'd give me a thumbs up. I look forward to doing more videos, and I look forward to seeing you here on my YouTube video channel and my blog, paperartscafe.blogspot.com. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. God bless.